Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines Vanilla series with me, TW1. As we do a little opening cinematic over the city, I thought I'd speak to you about today's plan. Today's plan may be more than one episode though, because we have a lot to do and a very, very short amount of time to do it. Well, we don't. I have all the time in the world because of quarantine, but, you know, I'd like to do other things today and not just play City Skylines as much as I enjoy playing it. There are other games to be playing, so yeah, let's come out of this camera mode as we slowly have a little look around the city and then talk about what we need to be doing. So first and foremost is we need to expand population wise because we are doing very, very badly when it comes to workers in certain areas. So over here is a great example. This industry is suffering. The industry over here was suffering a while ago. The industry in Farmtown is suffering as well. We may even upgrade some of these houses to some high density stuff as well to add a little bit more population to Farming Town as well. That may be an option that we have. I'm going to say no for now, but I do like how this is very grid-like, and that could be built up a little bit more, and then we'll keep this a little bit more organic looking. Quickly touch on the helicopters. They're causing me a bit of an issue at the moment, and I'm thinking a few changes to a couple of transport things may help these out. We're going to have to keep an eye on them over the next couple of episodes. They're working, they're just not working fast enough, and I don't think I can add any more to this line without them getting in the way of each other because of the way I've got them set up. I'm going to add 10 to get another couple more out. So yeah, let's very quickly do some mass zoning on the fishing island over here. I do have a name for it, but I do not have my phone open right now, and I'm uploading, so I cannot open my phone because I don't have any internet. We are going to expand the population, or the residents should I say, all the way up to over there, and then we'll incorporate all of this big chunk in as well, and then we'll do a little cinematic as it grows up. I just quickly fence off this and put in a pathway. This may be something that we do in the future. I'm just going to do it now just so I remember. This will not be zonable, these roads right here. So these zones right here will be pathways, and I will then in the future connect them up and make them look good. That'll be something that we can do future episode, and it also will sort out the zoning when it comes to this road so we can get the most bang for a buck. When it comes to this spot, this big square right here looks like a great opportunity for a school or maybe a park. That might be a good idea, just to throw a park in there. And looking at pathways, we are definitely going to need some because people can't cross over at all when it comes to walking, so we're going to be forcing them into their cars. We don't want to be doing that. We want people to be walking about. It's the easier way of doing stuff, so we need to be getting these paths set up as fast as we can so we can get people moving around this area without their cars. Do I want to be incorporating any more? No, we will be adding shops in here. That looks like another great spot for a park if I am thinking about it. Let's just find a quick couple of parks to throw in these big gaps. Probably one of these bad boys. You are too big. You are too small. You are an odd shape. So are you. I don't particularly like any of these parks. These are bad news bears for me right now. Can we find anything else that may go in here a little bit better? I could put in a little custom park if we wanted to. That may be an option to just save the space and then put a custom park in the future. Do we want to do that, or is there a unique building that we would like to throw in here? Maybe a little statue of wealth. Yeah, we'll put a statue of wealth over here. That will fit in quite nicely. And maybe a statue of shopping over here, even though this is going to be in and around housing. Probably not a shopping there. Is there anything else that will fit in this gap? That is very close. The tax office? The tax office building? No. We're not going to be putting that in there. That is something a little bit more city centre, I feel. No, nothing in there for now. We do have the Colossus we could be putting over this area on the fishing island. That might be a good idea in the future. Just put the Colossus off there. We'll just put it off the end of the plinth. So yeah, we're going to quickly expand, and as this stuff is upgrading, we will start working out, or building and upgrading, we will start working out a couple other little things, because we have, last episode, off screen, right at the end, we went over the cap for the next population, meaning we unlocked another tile, and we have finally unlocked this one over here, which means we finally have access to the train. So let's work out where we want this one train line right here to be going, because he looks like a great candidate. I may just break these two up just so they're not a loop. So there is another great option, and this one right here looks like the prime candidate for me, because what I'm thinking is we are going to nail straight over onto Fishing Island, clip onto here into a train station, and then back out the other side. We will then try and weave our way through this area as best we can, leaving potential for extra train stations in the future, and bolt into this train station over here. We may also run a direct line that cuts a lot of this stuff out. Oh, that's cool. I haven't noticed that. That looks really cool, though. A little abandoned houses over here. We may run a direct line that comes over here, cuts underneath this bridge, wraps around the coast as fast as it can, and then slots all the way into the hub. We have some fire over here. Is there fire trucks on the way? Yeah, there's a fire truck there. That's fine. We have that to deal with. So yeah, let's place the train station. I believe I've made the perfect spot for one, which is just in this gap, and then we will have the funs and the joys of trying to get a train track into this area. That is why I didn't want to put any residents in here at all. That is going to be a pain in the backside to get a key and the train track to react to each other nicely there, so we'll have to get rid of the key for a moment. If I just come dead straight, whereabouts is this going to come out? Let's find out. So over here is where we're thinking of coming in at. That's not exactly where I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a little bit further over there. If it is over there, how is it going to look? Let's have a little think. Is that going to be a bit weird of an angle? It may be. We may come off this one at the start. We'll just bring that back a little bit so it gives it a natural space for a slope into a bridge. We'll just bring it up one, I think. Yeah, bring it up one. And then we can bring that straight over here. 90 degrees is about there. So if we then wrap you into there and try and bend you in that perfect spot. Let's see if we can come off this one and see if we can find the road guidelines. That it would be helpful if I had road guidelines on, I suppose. Yeah, do you want to behave today? There we go. So that is the first leg of our train setup hooked in. This is now obviously connected to the outside world, so we don't just have the harbour connection, we also have a train connection. We will be turning off intercity trains in this area. We don't want any trains coming into here. I didn't mean to turn that off, I meant to do that instead. And we can then run this hopefully around this wave machine. Let's delete that wave machine, get that out of my way, and probably need to get rid of this key. We'll have to replace the key in the future, I feel, because it's going to be tricky to get a train track to go perpendicular to this bridge in a nice position, probably a similar height as well, if I'm honest. Let's see if we can get it a similar height to the bridge. That would be quite nice, wouldn't it? So right there is where you want to tunnel. So if you're tunneling right there, see if we can get it just to match up perfectly. That would be great if it just wants to be a perfect straight line all the way over. And then we can just match them up and they will look like they were designed to be together. And then you need to come up to this level on this one. That is a long way up, but we should have it all fine and dandy. There's a slight rise in that bridge in the middle, but not a massive one. And then once we are there, we need to try and do a sharp bend. We may overshoot the train station by a smidge and then try and get it to come back. No, we have to take that back a touch and then bend it in properly. That is a bit of a pain in the back. There it is, and there you are. So we have the train line hooked up. I'm now going to run it along this road, underneath here, through this area, and then we will hook it all the way up to the train station that is over here, which has got a little underground path ready for it. So I'll be doing that very quickly now off screen to save you guys me doing that. Here we go then, the first ride on this train underneath this newly built area, and then as we come up and over the hill we appear out of the darkness over a nice long bridge. We dip back underground just to nip over a roundabout, and then it's alongside the road as we curve along through this countryside, dip under with again where the bridge, and then we will go into our dock and the final stop, which is over here as well. I'm really happy with that train line. I think it looks gorgeous. We could do a little bit of tinkering with it, but there's no real need to fuss around with it too much. I really like the way it bends and matches the road down this sweeping bends as well. Looks really, really cool. The bridge may need tidying up a little bit. I may bring it up a little bit higher up so it's not quite as abrupt. It may go down underground a little bit earlier, but yeah, very, very cool. And that train line right there is going to be very, very important for us. It will also be allowing interim city trains to come along as well if they wish. We may cut that out actually. We may stop interim city trains coming along here. Instead, when they come through here, we may branch them off in and around this area and try and get them to go underneath this bridge. That may be something that I do right now just to get them away from going through here, because if it comes through this area, it's got to get through this train stop. Then underneath here is a train junction between this stop and that stop, and then it'll have to come all the way along here into here and then into the multi eventually. So if we can bypass a little bit of that, maybe get one of these multis to spin around underground nice and quickly and come up and along here maybe, then bring it along this bridge in a nice straight line and then bend it in around this coastline as we wrap the coastline with a nice train. That may look really cool. So let me have a little play around with that right now. So here we are then, the train line is in and all built. Unfortunately though, I have been watching the other passenger trains and they are refusing to use the line despite me building it, and I think it is very, very good. Wraps along this road as well, so this road is now, looks like a highway road now really, with the train wrapped on either side. We'll put some trees in, we'll decorate it up so it looks beautiful. There is one of the outer city trains going along this route and not this one. Why are you not going on this route? I do not know. We shall find out. I may have a connection broken somewhere that may be refusing to use. I'll have to have a little deep dig. It digs underground here. It goes under, and then it goes to here, all the way to the train station, but people are not using it. They don't particularly care at the moment for some whatever reason. I'm not sure whatever reason it is. They are determined to use this line here as well. This blue line has picked up a little bit as well. It was very, very quiet if you remember. It has now got about 70 to 60 people on most passengers trains, which is very good. So that is starting to busy up. What isn't busying up is our industry. It's still dying over here in Farming Town. So I think it's time to add in a little bit of high density to try and bring in a little bit more population to this area. So we're going to just pick out a couple of little squares and just revamp them totally. I do like the looks and the lower looks of these, but the odd little square in here may just be the perfect candidate for some high density. So this one example right here is you guys are now going to go. I have noticed you've got a nice little gap down the middle. Because of that is a nice little gap down the middle, I may just decorate you up with a nice little path very, very quickly, because that will look quite nice. We will do that, and then we will zone you in with some high density instead, and we'll let the game regrow that one as well. I'm just going to pick out a couple of different little areas. So here's another one as well. We are not going to be allowing them to grow up, so we are just going to wait, let the buildings grow, and then we will be clicking in historic so they cannot grow very tall. We don't want massive tall buildings, we do just want a little bit more population in this area though. Some of these are going to be a little bit taller than the surrounding areas, which is exactly what we want. So yeah, all you have to do is wait for these to start growing, click in historic, and then it will lock them to the height at which they first appear. We have done that before plenty of times with other little builds around our city. Our yard brick stood over here, for example, all of these are locked in, historic locked, which is very good. That's why this abandoned building won't disappear, because he is a historic one, so he will eventually be upgraded. A lot of this farm town is not doing very well at all, is it? I have noticed that. That is not very good at all. Just hopefully this little influx of population that we are going to bring to this area will help it out a lot. Some nice, cheaper, high density buildings for some more people, really. Just more people into the area. Up the population. The population is around 4,200 in Brixton at the moment. We just want to try and up that, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to pick out a couple more squares over here to upgrade as well. So let me just go through and do that as well. I probably won't bore you with it. You've seen the example of what we're doing. Just trying to bring that extra population in without getting rid of the looks of the place as well. It's very key to not ruin the look of the area as well. So we'll try and make sure that we get every single one of these buildings, because otherwise, if we do not, they may look a little bit odd, and we don't want any of these odd looking buildings. We don't want any skyscrapers over here, because that would ruin the look of this coastal town. It's very flat, and that is what we like. Just need to go over here. See, these farms are really struggling, so we just need waves and waves of people to come into this area and to make sure that we are growing the Brixton district as well, as we try and maintain our industry, because we are leaking money as well at the moment, I have noticed, which is a big old concern. I was going to play around with garbage this episode. I'm not sure if we will be. Yeah, we will. We're just going to have a little play around with garbage, and then we'll finish it up next episode. So I have raised this bridge, and originally here, just ignore the abandoned buildings. I am going to, some of you with minor OCD, that will annoy you. I do apologise, but I'm just going to have to ignore it. So yeah, off screen I have raised this bridge so it comes up a little bit earlier. So now we can drag this road clean underneath, and over here is going to be a great candidate, one, for some more industry, which we will be putting in eventually when we have the demand for it, and secondly we can put in one of these new waste management buildings. It's a processing plant. It's rather very big. It is also very expensive, and we want to put one of these over here so we can, process all our garbage in one localized area, a one localized spot. Let's just drag that at a nice 45-degree angle, maybe not quite that far out. We'll just come back a little bit, and then off there we can do little roads in the future if we want. So yeah, let's just break that power line for a moment and throw one of these plants down, and that should then start dealing with all of the rubbish that we have in the area. I'm not sure, what's the pollution of this one? 250, that is a lot of pollution, but we are going to be dumping it in one localized spot. Is that noise pollution? Is 100 as well, yeah. So one localized spot, we are going to be dumping all of the pollution when it comes to our garbage, and then that power should be hooked up, and all we have to do is hook the power back up to the water pipes over there. And then when you come into the garbage tab, you can use these ones, which are the waste transfer facilities, that produce less pollution than the recycling plants and a lot less pollution than the landfill site and the incinerators. So we can then start having these in and around the city instead of recycling plants, and that can help out. So one of these places over here definitely needs one that's going to be a lot less pollution, so we're just going to probably pop one by the harbour area just to get that hooked up, and that should then probably suffice all of this island. And we can even go through and delete some of these landfill sites and just upgrade them to these new buildings and make them look a little bit better. So I'm just going to put probably 2 over here, just so we are nice and ready for the extra people that we are going to put in your Brixton. So that should be the garbage covered. I'm now going to run the game for a moment to see if the population is going to balance itself out, or if we are in dire straits. Well, I've been running the game for a little while, and as you can see, our demand for population is not going away. So I'm going to end the episode here, because next episode we are going to be working on a large section of downtown as we try and add another wave of people to the city, because they are clearly keen for growth and keen for more people in the area as well. Our tram is up and running, and we'll be expanding to the tram line. It's not very busy at the moment, don't you worry. It will be in the future once that is up and running. This train stop is also doing a good bit of damage when it comes to keeping cars off our roads. The road situation is very good. 87% traffic flow. Busy, but not congested, as I'll say. Probably this is the worst area. Popular, probably. Don't have any water pipes over here. That may need water pipes to process garbage. Just quickly run a couple of water pipes over that. And yeah, we will be back next episode for some more mass expansion. I'm thinking a big chunk, probably another size of this. Another few thousand people. How many people's in here? 9,000 people. You got to think about this. This square right here is this gap right there. That is double of your Brixton. And look at the size of your Brixton compared to that. So yeah, if we can dump another 9,000 people in and around this area, maybe with a new little transport hub, we may play around with one of those as well, we shall be all good. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been TW1. This has been City Skylines Vanilla Series. We've done a little bit of everything this episode, a little bit of transport stuff, a little bit of waste management stuff. We'll see how this gets on in the next episode, and we'll see how well these are and how efficient they are and how ugly they turn the ground very quickly. And we're expecting this whole area to be yellow, and we shall see how the city is coping. We are no longer in the red, which is good, and population is on the rise. We are not too far away from Metropolis, which will be giving us the airports, which will be a whole new challenge and something I have not ever done. So thank you very much for watching. I've been TW1. This has been City Skylines Vanilla Series, and that is about the 19th outro. And as always guys, peace out.